Okay. Um, Good evening again. So I think we're back. We have to start, yeah? Right. So before the break, we were looking at the step 3. Okay, that's we calculated our contribution per scarce resource, which is our contribution per machine hour. Okay, and in order to calculate that, we say we have to look at the contribution per unit divided by the hours per unit for each of the products. So for M, we looked at 24, which is the contribution per unit, and the hours per unit is 8. So 24 divided by 8 gave us 3. And for N, we looked at the contribution per unit, which is 15 divided by 3, that gave us 5. So our contribution per scarce resource is 3 and 5. And we also said that the contribution per scarce resource is our basis for production, is our basis for optimal production, because it's simple. If our problem is machine hours, that is, if our limiting factor is machine hours, that means we should produce according to the best way that will give us higher profitability per machine hour. In this case, we're looking at the product that's going to give us high contribution per machine hour. So we produce that first, and then the next one, and it follows in that order. Okay, I hope it's clear, everybody. Are we together? Have you prayed for me? Have you prayed for everybody? For those who have prayed?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, excellent. Right. So, so that's what we have done. I hope you understood up to step 3. Any questions, please, before we move? Please don't feel shy to
Mr.
ask.
Mr. Fofana,
Yes.
can you please go back to step 3 a little bit? I'm kind of confused.
Okay. What's your confusion? What area are you confused at? I'm
Okay,
back
I
here.
thought it
Yes.
was looking at the notes that you were explaining. Step 3 was talking about comparing the two, like the highest and all that.
Yeah. Actually,
Yeah.
the step we had on the note, we added an extra step. So that's why the 3 on there will be 4 in here. Okay, you remember we didn't have the
Okay,
calculation,
yeah.
because I told you this is an optional one. Okay.
Okay.
Naturally, this one is a given. The step 1 is a given. So before we know that the question is a limiting factor, there must be a limiting factor. So it's good to calculate this just to confirm that there is actually a limiting factor. But if you miss this out, you are not going to lose anything. You understand? In exams, if you don't do this step, you are not losing anything. So that's why the core step starts from here. That's the calculation of contribution per unit. I hope I'm clear.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but because we are doing it in class, and I want to consolidate your understanding, that's why I start everything from scratch.
All right. Thanks.
Okay? Tick-tock?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So, right. So everybody, we happy to go? We happy to move? Are we? Hello, class?
Yeah, we can move now.
Okay. Usman, are you still praying? Shuringa, Sanyang? Shuringa?
Yes, after it, Mr. Fofana.
Okay, are you happy we move?
Yes, we can.
Up to step 3, you're fine? Are you?
Yes, I'm fine. We can.
Okay, excellent. Defining test. Yes, what about the Fainkes? Mariatu and what's the other Fainke? They were among the first to log on. Are you happy we move the Fainkes?
Yes, Mr. We can move.
Yes. Tell your kids to go
Well
away.
understood.
You are in class now.
Okay.
Okay, fine. So we're going to move. Hey. Hey. You keep quiet. Okay, so the next step will be step 4 here. Okay, and that step 4 will be to develop our step 3, of course, is the calculation of the contribution per machine hour and then the ranking. We need to do the ranking. Okay, we need to do the ranking. So the ranking will tell us what to produce first because of its contribution per machine hour. So that means the highest contribution per machine hour should be produced first, okay, and to be seconded by the next highest. So in this case, there are only 2 products, okay. So we can do the ranking based on that. So how will the ranking look like here? Can someone help me? How are we going to rank based on our production? So the ranking will be week product to be produced first, to be seconded by 1, and like that. So
N. The highest first. N.
yeah. So week one should be the highest.
5.
Okay. So
5 hours per unit. Okay.
the contribution per unit. The contribution per unit. How to call it? The contribution per machine hour. Okay, the contribution per machine hour, 5 is higher than M. So we automatically start with 5. So the ranking will be 5 will be 1, and then 3 will be 2. So that will mean first and second. Okay. So we can do ranking using this, but then alternatively we could use a formula. Okay, we can use our formula. So I'll give you another new formula, okay, that you learn, okay. So all these areas, I'm going to leave them as formulas, so that's when you are revising, you will know these are new formulas that you have learned, okay. So we've learned how to do custom number formatting, and we're going to learn how to do ranking. Okay, I'm going to give you a formula for ranking, and it's no other formula than rank form. So you can come here, equals. Okay, all formulas in any spreadsheet starts with an equals. So we say rank, R-A-N-K. If you say rank, once you do that, there are 3 formulas that has got an element of rank there. Rank.av, that rank, avg, rank.eq, and then rank itself. So when you highlight on the rank, it says it ranks of a specified value in a data set. Okay, so we're going to do the ranking. We say equals, bracket open. So if you start a formula and you're confused, you don't know how to proceed with the formula, always click on the question mark. Once you start the formula correctly and you open the bracket so that you can enter the various facets of the formula, a question mark will display for you. Okay, the question mark is there to help you. So if you click on the question mark, it will tell you what to do. So it will tell you about the rank formula. So you say rank, the first part of the formula is the value, big value to rank. And then the second part is the data set. And then the third part is, do you want it in ascending order or in descending order? For descending order is 1, for ascending order is 0. And if you leave it, if you don't put 1 or 2, sorry, if you don't put 0 or 1, it doesn't matter. It will do it in ascending order for you. Okay? And the example is rank number 42 in a data set that is from A2 to A100, for example, in descending order. So it will give you either it's first, second, third, depending on its magnitude. Okay? So well, we know how to do it. So let's close the teacher, the mualimu, who is trying to guide us. We know how to guide ourselves, so we just close it. Okay. So we say equals rank. Which number do we want to rank? Which number do we want to rank? Okay. Can someone tell me the cell reference of the number we want to rank? The number we want to rank is the contribution per machine hour for M. That's the first one. And then we can replicate the formula to the other product. So what's the reference for the contribution per machine hour for M?
D18.
D18. Excellent. So we click on D18. And as usual, every formula in Excel, the various parts are separated with a comma. So we are done with the first part. What's the first part? The number we want to rank. So we just do a comma. So once we do a comma, it will take us nicely to the second part. And what's the second part? The second part is the data set. Okay, the data set we want to rank. For example, we want to rank 3, but in what data set? We want to rank 3 in 3 to 5. Okay, that's 3 and 5. If there are other numbers also, you could highlight all of them. Okay, so we highlight the data set. So the data set will naturally start from where the 3. So we click on this, we move to the next. Since there are only 2, so we highlight on 2. If there are 3, we continue 4, 5, and so on. So the more numbers we have, we can select all of them. Okay, so at this juncture, the data set is not going to change when the data value to be ranked changes. So as such, what do? We fix it. How do we fix it? Class, how do we fix it?
Press F4.
We fix it by making the formula absolute. And in order to make the formula absolute, we press F4. Correct. Thank you. So once we press F4, $4 sign will be displayed for us. Look at it. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this means the formula is fixed. Okay. If we replicate, this part will not change. Okay. So next we do a comma. Now we want to rank in ascending order. So we just do 0 and then we close our bracket, we enter. So once we enter, we have 3 as second, and then we can replicate it down here. So we have 1. So we have ranked based on descending order, okay, meaning 5 is 1, and the 3, which is lower than 5, is second. Okay, is that clear, everybody? Is that clear?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, good. So that's the way you rank. This one is a simple example because it's only 2 products, but assuming you have 100 products, if you want to start looking, this number, oh, which one is bigger? Do I put 1 there? Do I put 2? And there will be some that will be the same, you know, and when you do the ranking formula, it considers that, so that if there is a tie anywhere, then it will jump 1 number. Okay, so this ranking formula is also another important one. So take note of it, yeah? Okay, so take note of it. So the ranking formula, I'll give you the formula here. I'll just copy the formula and then I place it here. I precede it with a single comma. So that's the formula. Okay, can you see? Okay, but when you go inside here and here, you'll see the same formula. Is that clear? But I want to bring it here so they can see it clearly. Okay? Right, so we know that the first product we need to produce is N, because N has got the highest contribution per scarce resource, which is $5, seconded by M. Okay, is that clear, everybody?
Yeah, that's clear.
Okay. So our fourth step is to develop an optimal production plan. So step 4, develop an optimal production plan. Okay? So this optimal production plan will tell the production manager and his team the number of units they need to produce of each of the product in order to maximize the company's profitability. Okay? And the optimal production planning is going to be done based on the contribution per scarce resource. I hope this is clear. I hope this is clear.
Can you repeat that, please?
Yes. Our next step, which is step 4, is to develop an optimal production plan. An optimal production plan is a production plan which is saying produce this much of M, produce that much of N, and so on and so forth. So you're trying to advise the production manager and his team as to which products to produce first and at what number. So that optimal production plan advice will be based on the calculation of our contribution per scarce resource. Our contribution per scarce resource, we know that the highest we have is N and seconded by M. So our optimal production plan is going to say that produce everything of N because it's more profitable, and next, what remains, the number of hours that remains, then you could convert whatever product, whatever units you can get from M, then you produce it. Is that clear? Okay, so we're coming to do this, and then you'll see clearly what I mean. So our optimal production. Yes.
Yes, because looking at the number of units of hours that we got from the calculation in the previous 48 hours, which one is less than 5,000.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yes, if you will realize that the contribution will be given for the one that is not adequately available, because it's the one that is limiting factor is showing, like the amount of 48 hours, which is less than 5,000, 4,800, which is less than 5,000, hadn't been in the ranking 2, where 2 is the product M. The product M is 63,000.
63,000?
Yes, in the ranking.
6,300 hours or what? There's no 63,000 here.
6,000, yes.
No, the 6,300 is the total hours that's required for all of them.
Okay, that is the total number of hours. Okay, I can realize. And this other one is 1,500. Okay. So that means the ranking here, the more ranking is given to 1,500.
No. That's completely, the ranking is, do someone understand? I want to explain, I want to help Mr. Njai. Can someone explain it better? Koka, do you understand the concept before we move? I think it's really important that we understand this concept. Who wants to explain to Mr. Njai before I come in?
Okay, I can try. Mr. Fofana?
Yeah, come in.
Can you scroll down so I can? Can you please scroll down the screen? Hello, are you hearing me? Hello. Are you guys getting me?
Yes, Mr. Koga.
Okay, so what he was trying to explain was looking at the steps to generate the contribution per unit. What he explained previously was there are 4 steps, but there was one that he included. It was not part of the steps, and he said if those ones are not, if that is not actually being done by us, it doesn't matter, right? That is the extent of the limiting factor. So looking at the total number of hours that are required and the total numbers of hours available, it's a bit different. So the total number of hours required was 6,300 hours based on our calculations, and the total number of hours available is 5,000. So there was a shortage. So the limiting factor in the question was the machine hours. So Mr. Fufana, can you please project the screen so I can explain better?
Okay, yes. Sorry, actually, I had network issues, so let me just project it now. Okay, can you see it now?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
go
so
ahead.
like I was saying, so the fact that we calculated the extent of the limiting factor, looking at the note, it says the above explained that hours at present are not sufficient to fulfill demand for both products, so we will have to develop the optimal production plan using 5,000 machine hours, which maximizes profit. But there are 2 products, which is the product M and product N. Now, for the first step we need to look at is the calculation of the contribution per unit. So the formula to calculate the contribution per unit was the selling price per unit minus the variable cost per unit, and that's why we got 24 for product M and 15 for product N. And the
Excellent.
second step, the third step was to calculate the contribution per machine hours. That is the contribution per scarce resource. So based on this question, the scarce resource was the machine hour. That is why we specifically used the machine hours. So the contribution per machine hours is the contribution that we calculated previously, that is above, divided by the machine hours that is actually in the extent of the limiting factor, that is the 8 hours and the 3 hours given in the question. So the division of the 2 gave us the three per unit, contribution 3 as the contribution per hour per unit, and the 5 for product N as well. So then looking at the other step, we need to rank them. So the ranking formula is what was given by Mr. Fofana, which is that formula. So we were able to identify the highest, which was 5, and that is product N, and seconded by product M, which is 3. So that's how we were able to get the ranking. So I think the last step is to now develop an optimal production plan. That is what he's about to explain.
Okay, excellent. So is that clear, Mr. Njai?
Yes, I understand. And what I also want to emphasize is like, okay, you know, when we are making our production, maximizing our production, we take the one that is number 1 first, which is the product N, isn't it?
Yes.
That is the which is more profitable than the product M. So we have to exhaust our product N first. Then the remaining amount from the 5,000 that we have to use in the product M.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we're coming to do now. That's the development of optimal production plan.
Yes, but like what I want to emphasize, like the one which is more profitable, which is the product N.
You know,
the number of units there is smaller than the one that is not profitable like product M.
You know, profitability is in two folds. When you look at the contribution per unit, naturally you know that product M is more profitable than product N when it comes to contribution only. Because
Yes.
product M has got 24 pounds per unit, whilst N has got 15 pounds per unit. But then this not okay, our problem is scarce resource. So when you look at product M and N, it takes 8 hours to produce product M. So it takes long time to produce product M. But look at it. It takes 3 hours only to produce product N. So it's more efficient to choose product N. This is the more reason why we have the contribution per scarce resource higher in N than that of product M. Can you see? Because it's taking, look at it, more than twice time, 8 hours to produce M, whilst product N is only 3 hours. So naturally, if you divide, you're going to get more. So that's why you had the contribution per machine hours higher for N than M. Okay? So based on our scarce resource, we're supposed to produce product N first because it has got the higher profit or contribution, in this case, per unit. Okay? Is that clear, Usman? Shall we move?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I think what he needs to understand is that we're actually basing it the contribution per scarce resource.
Yes.
And not the contribution per unit.
Exactly.
But if you look at the contribution per unit, product M you might think the product M will be more profitable. But in this case, we are looking at the contribution per scarce resource, and in this case is going to be machine hours. So the highest is the product N and not product M.
Exactly. And the reason is simple. Look at it. It's taking so long, 8 hours to produce 1 unit. So in order to produce N, it's going to take you what? You're going to save time twice. 3 compared to 8. It's almost 3 folds. You see, almost 3 folds. So 3 hours compared. So this is the reason why, even though M has got the highest contribution per unit, but it's not efficient to produce because it takes a long time to produce. You understand the concept? So N, even though it has got a lower contribution per unit, but it's easier to produce, it's quicker to produce. So that's why it has got what? High contribution per scarce resource. I think I have over-explained it now. We should move. Is that clear, everybody? Usman, but I really like it. I like students who, of course, want to make things very, very, very clear, because this is the only opportunity you can ask questions. So, so we make the best use of it. So that was good, to be honest. Right. So, any more questions before we move, please? Okay. So we're going to continue. So now we are going to develop an optimal production plan, and I've explained over and over and over what an optimal production plan is. So we're going to see how. So according to our contribution per scarce resource, we are supposed to produce N. So in our optimal production plan, we're going to say products. Let's put it, I like everything to be in a column because we are accountants, we are highly organized. So products, we will have units, or we will have hours. Okay, so we'll have our products, we'll have our units, and hours is our problem, isn't it? Okay. So we are going to share these hours between them. So first, the first product we need to produce should be what? The first product we need to produce. Let me see.
Product N.
Product N.
Product N.
Wait. Hadi Job. Hadi, are you with us? Hadi? Hadi Job? Are you still praying, Hadi? Horeja? Horeja Bijane. Horeja, are you with us? These people. Madeleine, you've been very quiet today. Madeleine. Hello, Madeleine. We're not hearing you. Madeleine? Maybe she's having network difficulties. We're not hearing. Musa Trawale. Musa. Trawale, are you with us? Musa? Salimatu Balde. Salimatu, are you with us?
Yeah. Good evening, Mr. Fofana. Yeah, I'm with you. But
You're with us. Okay, good. So, Salimatu, can you tell us which product should we first produce based on our optimal production plan? Which product? N or M? Salimatu? Salimatu, are you offline? Oh. Mr. Kaur, you've been quiet. Mr. Kaur, are you with us? Suleiman? Hey, where are these people gone to? Where are these people gone to?
Hello, Mr. Fofana. My network is going on now. Network is very bad, that's why.
Oh, too bad. Maybe you should come to Jara. You know, we have good network. Hello? Okay, so right. We're going to start with product N. We're going to start with product N because that's the number one in our ranking. So product N. So what's the total units we need to produce in product M? What's the units?
500.
What?
500. Okay. So this 500 will consume how many hours? How many machine hours? Let me just qualify this, because somebody said I should say machine hours, not just hours. Okay, machine hours. The 500 should consume how many machine hours?
3.
3. 500 units, 3 machine hours.
That one is 1,500.
it's 1,500.
Okay, so it's going to be the 500 units multiplied by 3 hours, because we need 3 hours per unit to produce. Okay, we need 3 machine hours to produce 1 unit. So 500 units multiplied by 3 will give us 1,500 units. So the same thing, we can replicate our hours here. So we could come here, okay, and copy, sorry, not copying, but replicate the paint format. So just click the paint format, highlight, click the paint format once, and then go and click it where we want the paint format to be. So we just come and click here. Okay, so you see, automatically it has done 1,500 hours for us. Okay, so now we are left with M. Okay, M is how many units? M is how many units?
600 units.
100.
600 units. Can we produce everything of M? Can we produce all the 600 units?
No.
No.
No, we cannot produce all the 600 units.
Because we don't have data. So our optimal production plan will require a total hours of how much? 5,000, isn't it? Because that's what we have. So we can replicate that formula here also. So we have 5,000 hours. So if we have 5,000 hours, if we want to produce M, how many hours do we need? M we know is 600. So how many hours do we need for M? Is it not going to be 600 multiplied by 8? Okay, so we need 4,800 extra. So, but if you add 4,800 to 1,500, that will be more. Okay, so what we have is what remains after the 1,500, and that will be equals the total minus what has been captured so far. So we have only 3,500 hours, but the 3,500 hours cannot produce 600 units. Can it?
No.
Okay, so if we want to know how many units the 3,500 hours can produce, what should we do? What should we do? Bashin?
We will say 3,500 divided by the 5,000 multiplied by the 600.
Okay, Carol, you say what we do?
We will take the 3,500 by the 5,000.
Divide by 5,000.
Yes, multiply it by 600.
And multiply by?
Hello. Hello.
Yes.
Hello, Mr.
Yes.
Let me try.
Yes, right.
Usman, huh? Yes, 3,200 divided by 8.
Usman, so we're going to get what? 3,500 divided by?
8.
Why divide by 8?
No,
Because
Mr. Hoffman, I think it's 5,000.
Because
No, one after the other.
Mr. Fofana.
Let Usman respond, please. One after the other. Usman, yeah, you said 3,500 divided by 8.
8. Yes, we want to know the number of units.
Okay. Why divide by 8?
Because, like, we want to divide it. We want to know the number of units for M that we can able to produce.
Okay. So, but my question is, why you dividing it by 8?
Mr. Fofana, can I?
Because it is 8 hours that make it 48 hours, 4,800. So if it is 3,500, which it is in short supply, which we can supply from that 4,800. I think we need to know how much of units that is able to have 3,500.
Okay. Okay, fine. I've heard you. Let me hear from the others also. Okay, yes. Who next?
Yes, me. It's 3,500 divided by 8.
Okay, yes.
I actually, Mr. Fofana.
Yes, Coca. Go ahead, Mr. Coca.
I think there are two alternatives. From my own opinion, I think there are two ways. I don't know which one is going to be accepted. The first one is already being said. That is the 3,500 divided by 8 hours, because the total number of hours for product M was 4,800. That is the 8 multiplied by the 600 units. The 8 hours multiplied by 600 units, which gave us 4,800. So if we want to produce the number of units using 3,500, we are also going to use the same number of hours, that is 8 hours, to get the number of units to be produced with the 3,500 hours. Also, to get the units to be produced using the same 3,500, we can say 3,500 divided by the total number of hours of product M multiplied by 600 units to get the rest.
Okay, so 3,500 divided by
The total number of hours, 4,800 for product M.
Okay. So that will give you the same answer, is it? This divided by 4,800.
Multiply by 600, yes.
Multiply by
Then we
600.
multiply by 600.
Multiply by 600. Okay, so that gave you 437.5. Okay. Yes, so who else has got a different answer? Okay, so let's move. How to call it, the 3,500 divided by the total multiplied by 600. The answer you'll get with the correct approach is the same. But to me, it's too cumbersome. Why do you have to do that? This is very, very simple. You know that after using your 500 units, okay, after using your 500 units, after applying your 500 units, you're going to use what? 1,500 hours. 1,500 hours minus the total hours will be 3,500 hours that will be left. Simple. If you want to find how much this 3,500 hours is going to be in terms of units, it's simple. In order to calculate the hours, we say product M, to produce 1 unit, you need 8 hours. So if you have that much hours, you simply divide by 8 hours. So it's 3,500 divided by 8 hours. Finish. Okay? Even though if you divide this by the total, this multiplied by 600 still gives you correct, but that's waste of time. Okay? So simple. So you take what remains, which is this, you convert it into units. To convert it into units, we use what? The number of hours per unit, which is 8. Okay? Enter. Simple. Okay, Mr. Coker, your 2 options, the first option is a lot better. The second option is not wrong, but why do you have to confuse yourself to divide and multiply when you can simply divide and get the answer? Is that clear, everybody? So yes. Our optimal production plan, I'll write it here. Our optimal production plan will be to produce, 500 units, okay? 500 units of N, and how many units of M? In our calculation, we got 437.5. So how many units of M?
437.5.
37.5.
4.5 cannot be there. Because you cannot produce half.
I'm happy somebody said it. So can you produce half a product? Can half a product benefit you? Assuming that this is our mango juice example. Can you produce half a bottle of mango juice? Which customer is going to buy it? Maybe only Nyomi, but they will buy half. Maybe a bottle that has got, you cut it into half, it doesn't even have a cover. So which customer is going to buy that?
Maybe the Jarankas.
No way. No way. No way. So now, how many units of M are we going to produce?
437.
Oh, why not 438?
I believe it will be 437.
Why not 438?
No, you cannot produce half.
No, and if you say 438, you don't even have the resources to produce 438 because it's less than 438. So simple, very intelligent way of answering it is going to produce only 437. Okay, you cannot produce half, neither can you round it up. Okay, so our optimal production plan will be to produce this, which is going to be a total of 937 products. So this is our optimal production plan. I'll make it bold, and I will make the background blue. Okay, so this is our optimal production plan. Correct? So let's move.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's move. The next part is the step 5 is what is the profitability of our how to call it what will be the profitability of our optimal if we produce using this, what profit are we going to make? So the step 5 will be the total contribution, or we can say the total profit from M and N. So step 5. So far, so good. Please, if you don't understand, let me know. This is a bit complicated. It's a bit complicated, but it's very simple, and you can apply it in real life. You can apply this in real life. Please take note. Those that are into production. Do we have anybody who works for a company that produces soft drink, produces soap, produces whatever? Do we have anyone who works in a production environment? Anyone? Total profit from and anyone who works in a production environment, anyone who works for Sankunsila and Sons, or this Amadou Samba bottle factory, or whatever, any production. Do we all work for government and the GAMTELs and the GRAs and stuff like that? Do we have anyone from there?
It's 18 hours.
Okay, anyway, let's proceed. So what we're going to do is we are going to produce this column, the products, the optimal production plan, and then we calculate our contribution for each of them. Okay, our contribution per unit and our total contribution, and we less our profit. So, right, so step 5, we calculate our total profit as per our optimal production plan. Okay, so we have our, okay, good. So now I have my products here, product N, M, and so on. Okay, but I want them here. Okay, I want them here. So what's the best way of doing it? I want my product like here. I want them here. Okay, so what can I do? And I want my how to call it my optimal production plan unit also to be here. Then I'll do my contribution per unit, and then I'll do my total contribution. So how do I replicate these things here?
Copy and paste.
Hey, I don't want to hear copy and paste. I don't want to hear copy and paste. So if I do copy and paste, let's say I forgot, I made an error here, N. Okay, this should have been product O instead. If I do copy and paste, that's gonna waste time because I have to change here, I go here, I change here, I go there, I change here, I go there and change here. So what should I do? I want an efficient way.
We use equals to.
You just highlight the 3 and then go to paint. Click the paint brush.
Paintbrush. The paintbrush is only the format painter. We have not done anything there. Do we want to get any format? No.
We use equal to.
We use equals.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. When we say equals, what happens?
We just use equals to, then we just click on what we want to replicate and press enter.
Okay, good. And what is that process called? What's that process called? cell linking. Okay, so we're going to do a cell linking function. So that if you link the cells, if there is changes in any of them, the changes is going to be replicated in all of them. Okay, so we say equals, just like you rightly said, we say equals product. Okay, and what else do? We need M, N, and M here as well. So once we say equals, we click on the cell reference of this one we will produce here. Okay, so what else do?
Hello, Mr. Fofana?
Yes, Mr. Jai.
We can drag it down, then it will replicate.
We replicate, excellent, good, thank you. So we've done that. Okay, so the benefit of this is, let's say tomorrow we made a mistake. Let's say we copied this many times. And whilst we were reviewing, whilst our boss was reviewing, he made a mistake. He said, look at this guy. This should not be product N. It should be product O. And do the changes is going to be very simple. You just go and make only one changes. On the end, once you type O, enter. Once you type O, you enter. Look at what happened. O has changed here. Assuming this has been replicated 1 million times, you do only one changes, all the 1 million are going to change automatically like that. Can you imagine how powerful that is? Can you see? So, but if you do copy and paste, it's dead. They are not communicating. They are not linked. Once you link the cells, they are communicating. You understand what I mean? Okay. So yes.
You can use this one for the payroll. You know the payroll, like when you prepare your payroll, the main sheet, like where you have the basic, the gross and other things. Then if you go to your, like the social security, you know, the social security, normally you send it with the names of every individual. You can just go to the same name, then put it there. So if there's any new name, then you just enter here. It will reflect in any of them, like your tax, also everything, sending to GRA and other things. So it's easy.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. Mr. Jai, where do you work? Ajib, okay. You do your payroll using Excel, or you have a payroll package?
No, we're using Excel.
You're using Excel for your payroll?
Excel.
You should tell your guys to hire me to develop it using Google Sheet, and you can collaborate with it, and I could design it in such a way that within a click it could produce pay slips as well. I do a lot of that. I do a lot of consulting on that. I currently have some companies that I'm preparing their payroll. I prepare their payroll for them, and they have close to 1,000 staff, and it works perfectly well for them. So you can just link it, and then within a click, you produce pay slips for each staff. Okay, just like that.
Yes, I talk about it to my IT people, but you know, maybe they also have other packages. Wiki is being made by another company. I don't know what they call Lumo Technology, but like we have a problem here whereby that format wasn't able to go through. So that was done. They spent a lot of money on that. So it's anyway.
Yeah, I know. It's like that. It's simply you can do things, but you know, it's the understanding of spreadsheet that's really lacking. There are a lot of things that we buy, you know, off the shelf packages, or we, you know, do a tailor-made packages, but they're not necessary. You could just easily do them on a spreadsheet. But anyway, that's just by the way. I'm not marketing anyway. So fine. So that's the way you link, okay? And of course, just like Mr. Njai rightly said, you could use it on payroll. How you could use it on payroll? If you have your payroll, your main payroll with everything, the staff name, the social security, the payee income tax calculation, you know, stuff like that. So that could be on your main sheet. You could have another sheet that will be, let's say, that will be purposely for your social security, so that you can be able to automatically calculate your social security. So you could use this linking. You could link, for example, the columns that you need in the social security. It will be there's the staff code, the staff name, the basic pay, the social security that is, of course, on the payroll itself. So you could easily link it so that it can be on a separate sheet. So you could create another worksheet also that you call your payee, your income tax. So you could link it using just this form. You see how simple it is, but very powerful. Okay, so you could link it so that you have your staff name, you have your basic, you have your income tax calculation from your payroll. So once you make any changes on the payroll, it's going to be changed on your income tax worksheet as well, just like it's going to change on your social security worksheet. Okay, so it's really simple but highly beneficial. Okay. So fine. So we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to link our optimal production plan also here. So I'll just say equals. I click on the first one, which is E22. I enter. Then it will give me everything. So this time around, I'm going to wrap this. Okay, I'm going to wrap this so that it can fit nicely into this. And then I will just how to call it, align this to the right. So we have our optimal production plan. Okay, so these are what? These are in units. So I just put optimal production plan in bracket units here. UNITS. Close this, enter. Okay, so you see, once I did that, units has been replicated here. So we have our products, we have our optimal production plan, and that what we try to calculate is our profitability. So first, we have to calculate our contribution. So in order to calculate our contribution, we need our contribution per unit. PRIB to sort unit per unit. Okay. So what is our contribution per unit for N and for M? Can we go back to our question? What's our contribution per unit for N and for M?
It's 15 and 24.
15 and 24. So that one also, I don't have to type them, but I can link them here. You see how powerful this linking is? So how can I link my contribution per unit here? Look at my contribution per unit for N. Look at my contribution per unit for N. I want to bring them here and then here, respectively. Okay? Can we?
Yes.
Yes. So how can we do it? Same linking?
The same. Sorry.
So take
it's
me
the same
through,
way as Ibrahim said. You can click
equals.
Equals. Then you click on cell and press enter.
Okay. And then if I say replicate, nothing comes because it's not following. There's nothing here. So what we do is we're going to do it again because they're not following each other. So we go here and click that of M. Okay. So very simple. If tomorrow we make mistake here, once we make any changes here, it will all be reflected all throughout. This is an efficient way of doing your spreadsheet. Very, very efficient. Okay. Now, what is our total contribution? Total contribution stroke profit. Okay, so our total contribution stroke profit is going to be the unit contribution multiplied by the total unit. So we say equals this multiplied by that. Okay, so we suggest an autofill, we say yes. Are you following? So we have our total contribution for N as 7,500, our total contribution for M as 10,488. So we can format this also. We can go to format, number. We use the financial number formatting, or we reduce the decimal place to 0. And we align it to the right. Okay, and we make this column bold. Okay, are you following, class? Is it making any sense to you?
Yes, we are following.
Okay, good. So now we've got our total contribution. That's contribution for N and contribution for M. But in order to calculate our profit, do we have any other cost? Can we go back to the question? Do we have any other cost to consider? Can we go back to the 6A question? Do we have any other cost?
Yes, we have the fixed cost.
We have the fixed cost. Excellent. So now we need to calculate our fixed cost. So our fixed cost per unit is 10 for M and 8 for N, isn't it? So we have to, in order to calculate our profit, we always have to consider our overheads, our fixed overheads. Is that clear, everybody? So now we have to calculate our overhead. So I'll just say less fixed overhead. Less fixed overheads. So it's going to come here. So our fixed overheads, how are we going to calculate it? How are we going to calculate our fixed overheads?
It's going to be the fixed cost times the sales per unit. Your sales of 600 for M.
Sorry? We're going to multiply it what? By what?
The fixed cost times the 600 for M. 10 times 600.
The fixed cost per unit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And which unit are we going to use? The 500 and the 437, isn't it?
Yes.
Hmm?
Yes, the 500 and the 437.
So we're going to multiply the the 8, not the 8. We're going to multiply the, where is it?
The 10.
It's 10 and 8.
The 10 and 8.
We don't have that here. Yes.
Yes, it's in the question, fixed cost per unit. Yes, so my question is, which units are we going to multiply? For example, for M, we know that the fixed cost per unit is 10. So it's going to be 10. Is it going to be 10 multiplied by 437 or 10 multiplied by 600?
It's 10 multiplied by 437.
Multiply by 600.
Who is saying 4 multiplied by 600? Who is saying that? Who is saying 4 multiplied by 437?
Yes,
Hello,
I said 10 multiplied by 437.
Yeah, Mr. Fofana.
Yes, Usman?
Yes, it is the fixed cost because this the cost is fixed. So that means no matter whatever the amount that we produce, we must pay this amount. So the fixed cost is going to be multiplied by the 600 and the 500.
Oh, why not multiply by 437, Usman?
Because like the fixed cost, it is the cost that which is fixed. No matter
Osman.
Now,
Osman, I think you are making a mistake. It's with 437 because we actually end up producing 437. So we cannot multiply more than what we did not produce.
Okay, there's a big debate, the yes and the no. So now let's hear from the Basin. Which party are you at? 437 or 600?
I think the 600 is correct because the fixed cost it's constant, regardless of whether we have a limited hours or not.
Okay, the 600 is constant. Okay, who else has got another how to call it? Who else wants to? Because there are two parties, 437 and the 600. Ibrahim, yes.
600.
Multiply by six. What is your reason?
Because no matter how the variable cost varies, and that is because we actually changed it from actually producing units that we had before from 600 to 437 just to meet the limiting factor. But the fixed cost we incur it, no matter what happens, the fixed cost is an unavoidable cost. You have to pay it. For instance, our factory rent, it doesn't matter how many units you produce. If the factory rent is 5,000 a month, you pay 5,000 a month.
Very good. Very good. Okay. So please, Karamo, take note of this. Because we have produced 437, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That landlord doesn't care whether you produce one unit. Yes, as far as he knows, he has signed a contract with you. This fixed cost is just like the rent example. So you've agreed that you're going to pay the rent. So naturally, in this case, it will be based on your planned quantities. And that will not change. So whether you produce 1 or you produce 0 or you produce minus, it doesn't matter. So naturally, it will be the 600. So it's the 600 multiplied by the fixed cost per unit and also the other product also. Because, how to call it, fixed cost remains fixed irrespective of the units of production. Okay, so in this case, the fixed cost is planned, the planned sales, which is 500 and 600. Okay.
Hello, guys.
Yes,
Is
Mohammed.
it the lecturer who has network issues, or this is me?
It is it is the lecturer so far. Because I'm getting you now.
Oh, okay, okay. I thought this is my network anyway. All right, thanks a lot.
He is back now. Mr. Fofana is
Yes, sorry guys, I'm experiencing bad network here, to be honest. Okay, so I need to connect back. Sorry about that. Okay, so I'm back now. Right. Sorry, before we went off due to network connectivity. So we are trying to calculate the fixed overhead. Oh, hello, everybody.
Yes, Mr. Fofana. Welcome back.
Okay, sorry, I lost network, obviously. So the fixed overhead, we're going to calculate it using this formula. We say equal bracket opens, fixed overhead 10. So we say 10 multiplied by the 600 units, but we already have the 600 units here. So there's only two targets. I'm just going to use it here. So I click on the cell reference. I close my bracket. Hello? Yes, it's back again. Today, actually, I've been connecting from the house, so network is not as good as in the office. Okay, but can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
No. Okay, fine. So I'll start the formula again. So it's equals, bracket opens, 10 is the fixed cost per unit for M, multiplied by the total units for M is here, 600, bracket closes, plus bracket opens, 8 multiplied by that's for N. We close the brackets, we enter. So that gave us 10,000. Okay, so our total fixed overhead is 10,000. So if we want, we can put this in brackets. So we can say equals, then we prefix it with a minus. No, sorry. Equals, then we say minus, but we have to close this in two brackets. So it will give us negative 10,000. So that we can just add everything, the negative will knock off from this. So what is our total profit? We're going to calculate our total profit. So our total profit, we just do a sum. From here all the way down here, we close our bracket, we enter. So our total profit is 7,988 pounds. Is that clear, everybody? Okay.
Yes.
7,988. Okay. Good. So before we move, let's do the B part. The B part is just a simple one. It's just an extension of the A part. Okay, so let's do that and we call it a day. Let's do that and we call it a day. So this first part, so I'm just call it example 6A and 6B.
Hello? Hello?
Yes, how are you? Basim?
Yes,
Is the class
I
over
think
or
Mr.
the
Fofana have network issues.
I think Mr. Fofana the network is difficult for him today.
Yes, I think so too.
3 hours class.
Hello. Sorry, I lost connection. This is serious. In fact, I have to use my mobile to connect to my phone. Hello,
Yes,
can you get me?
Yes, we can see that, Mr. Povana. Bad network.
Yeah, actually, this week I was not at work, so I conducted the class at home, but the network is just too poor. So what we can do is I've just texted on the main forum. So let's stop here because if we start again, it might start again. So let's stop here, and I think we've answered up to 6A, and I assume everybody's fine with that. So let's do 6B as an assignment. When we meet on Tuesday, we will start with 6B just to complete it. But for now, add it to your assignment, and we'll look at it on Tuesday when we start. Yeah.
That's fine. Thank you.
Okay. Fine. Excellent. Good. Thank you so much. And inshallah, on Tuesday, I'll be at the office. So we'll conduct the class whilst I'm at the office. So I hope the network will be a lot better than in the house.
Okay. From 5, right?
5 o'clock, yes, inshallah. Maybe around 5:15 because people will have to pray. So by 5:15, we should start, inshallah.
Okay, inshallah.
Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.